Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, it's Greg here in Glendale. Hey, I've sort of made videos about this topic before, but I guess I'll make another one because I can develop the thoughts that were sort of referred to in the first vid. And basically, if you watch my videos, you can realize that I drink a lot of milk. I more or less live on it, and I drink about, well, it could be close to 2 gallons a day, or 7.5 liters for the Europeans. But occasionally I do want other food. Now, when I stay at my apartment here, I do more or less, well, typically I just buy milk. Sometimes I stay at my mom's house, also in Glendale, and she has other food that I sometimes crave a bit, so I do eat a little of that food. But what I actually do is I eat it out of my milk containers. Now, as I lived on milk for about 6 years now, I realized that milk containers kind of remind one of breasts, or maybe udders, right? Because it is cow milk. But especially a gallon container, which I have here, is kind of full and round at the bottom, and it tapers to something like a nipple at the top, huh? So when you drink, it is a bit like sucking from a breast, and I like that. And what I do when I eat solid food is I usually do put it in a milk container, because for me there's something sort of magical about a milk container, and it kind of makes the food better when you eat it from a milk container. And it sometimes you can learn about the food too. Now I'm going to show you what I have here. Basically, I have a cutting board. Is this gonna, if I put this on top, is it gonna press on any keys? Okay, basically I have a chopping board, and I have a chocolate chip cookie that I want to eat, and I have to get it into the mouth of this container, right? So basically I'm gonna cut the thing with scissors. I'm gonna kind of I'm cutting the, oh, I guess I can maybe turn this sort of downward. Oh, let me see which. So I'm kind of cutting this chocolate chip cookie into pieces so it will fit in the milk container. I can't even see what you're seeing. I apologize. I know these videos look like hell, but you can kind of see the pieces I'm getting here, I think. I don't know if I'm pushing it into view or out of view. I'm kind of cutting around the edge of the cookie, and I'm going to get it all cut. So, okay, so now I've got a bunch of pieces, and now I'm going to put them in the milk container, right? Pink, 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 right? Now in this case, I've chosen an empty milk container. Sometimes I put food right in the milk, and that's okay too. That's a little different. But in this case, I want the full taste of the cookie, and if I put it in the milk, most solid food sinks to the bottom of the milk, and of course it's going to get kind of soggy. I may lick the crumbs off these scissors, and I won't get the taste. By the way, scissors are pretty neat for pizza cutting. Like if you need to cut a slice of pizza off your pizza, scissors are pretty cool. Now I have actually some crumbs left on this board. Basically, I'm going to take a funnel, and I'm going to put those crumbs actually in a container with milk in it, because they won't shake out of an empty container very well. Now, this was another empty container. This one has bits of carrots in the bottom, and why carrots? You can hear them rattle around in there. Why carrots? Because my eyes have been bothering me, and carrots are supposed to be good for the eyes. But I do think by doing this that it probably means I eat less solid food. It helps me stay a little skinnier, because it sort of breaks down the food more by cutting it up. And another interesting thing, when you do it this way, it does kind of cause you to study the food a little more and articulate about the food. Like I was noticing when I looked down in the milk container and saw the chunks of chocolate chip cookie, I was saying, oh yeah, there's the dark brown of the chocolate and the lighter brown of the cookie. Now you may say, well, that's kind of obvious. Chocolate chips are dark brown and cookies are light brown, but a lot of life is articulating the obvious, taking the obvious and putting it into words, right? It gives you sort of a power over life a lot of times if you can articulate the obvious. And it's not necessarily easy to do. So I thought that was kind of cool. Breaking it up that way helped me articulate the obvious. So that's more or less the idea. So now I'm going to shake out a bit of cookie. These are excellent cookies coming from Trader Joe, which is I don't know, it's a supermarket chain in Southern California. I don't know if it's nationwide or what. So that's the idea. You guys might not like it. I'm sort of psychologically weak, where I'm sort of dependent on milk and things that are connected with milk, like gallon milk containers. I don't have the strength to make a choice and eat food that's not coming from a milk container. But it's not a horrible weakness to have. I mean, milk is super healthy and beautiful. But in my case, I have health problems, and living on milk, I kind of have to do it. If I don't, I feel bad. But that may not be the case for you. So you may not be as dependent as me. But putting solid food in my milk containers, it's a little bit of a way to sort of quote cheat unquote on my milk diet and enjoy a little variety from milk, but still kind of feel connected to the milk. So whatever, it may just strike you as funny or fun or stupid or a waste of time, but you might see that there are some fun ideas in there. If you like, watch a video. Occasionally I'll put spoiled food in the milk, because my mom will let milk spoil. In that case, it goes definitely into milk that's in the milk container. I would never eat the spoiled food just straight from a milk container like I am the cookies with no milk. But with spoiled food, milk actually sort of rehabilitates the food or redeems it, because a lot of what makes spoiled food so repulsive is it starts to let out these kind of juices, but when you put it in the milk, the juices kind of dilute in the milk, so it becomes much less repulsive. So you drink the milk, and then usually the bits of solid food sink to the bottom. So when you get to the bottom, you're going to get bits of so-called spoiled food, except the repulsive juices are gone. You're just getting bits of food, and you're getting them as slowly as you want. I mean, you can shake out one or two in your mouth and kind of slowly eat them, and they're often not all that spoiled. they don't look as bad as they did when they weren't in the milk, and they kind of taste okay. Sometimes they kind of taste interesting. It's a little different taste than your normal non-spoiled food. So I do have other videos on eating spoiled food in milk, but since I was making this, I thought I'd sort of tack that on. You know, be careful. I'm not advocating anyone do bad things with food, but using milk and milk jugs can really help you become more creative about food, I think.